The LuAZ-969M Volynyanka is a cute little frog of the Soviet auto industry, a small open off-road vehicle, the people's all-wheel drive car of the USSR. It was an exception to the general rules of the Soviet auto industry, where most all-wheel drive vehicles were primarily intended for the military. All-wheel drive, low weight. Its cargo and passenger capabilities helped this vehicle become a favorite means of transport for people in the provinces. It worked in agriculture, forestry, and transported passengers and cargo where the only roads were little more than bare trails. The LuAZ Volynyanka was used not only for work, but also for active recreation. It was indispensable for hunting trips, fishing, or simply for off-road adventures just for fun. And the story of the LuAZ-969 off-roader begins on the drawing boards of the NAMI Technical Automotive Institute. This was long before the model would start rolling off the assembly line at the Lutsk automobile plant on a mass scale. In 1958, a group of specialists from NAMI in the urban motorcycle plant, as part of the Off-Roader for the People program, developed the all-wheel drive model NAMI 049 with the original name Ogoniak, Little Flame. The compact all-wheel drive off-roader received an original frame panel fiberglass body with a load-bearing frame. As a result of using a large amount of composite materials, the NAMI 049 had an exceptionally low weight, just 680 kilograms. This allowed for a fuel consumption of 6 liters per 100 kilometers. The maximum speed of the off-roader was 80 kilometers per hour. Despite its compact size, the NAMI 049 could easily accommodate 4 adults inside. The off-roader was equipped with a 2-cylinder, overhead valve, air-cooled engine producing 22 horsepower. It was paired with an original 4-speed manual transmission featuring an additional low gear. In 1959, the NAMI engineers built a cargo passenger version of the NAMI 049 off-roader, called Selena, which was equipped with components and assemblies from the LuAZ-965. The vehicle received an original fiberglass pickup-style body with a drop-down tailgate and a semi-bonnet 2-door cab. The off-roader was fitted with a 4-cylinder, air-cooled MZ engine producing 26 horsepower. The gearbox was carried over from the previous model. The rest of the technical components for the NAMI 049 Selena were taken from the LuAZ-965. In 1960, the vehicle underwent road tests, after which it, along with the technical documentation, was handed over to the Communar Zaporizhzhia automobile plant. In Zaporizhzhia, after some modernization, the car received a new name, the LuAZ-969. A total of 50 vehicles were produced. But already in 1965, the off-road vehicle, along with its technical documentation, was transferred to the Lutsk machine building plant for production, where it went into mass production under the well-known name LuAZ-969 Volynyanka. Volyn, the northwestern region of Ukraine, is a land of endless forests, rivers, and swamps. It was here, and nowhere else, that the first civilian off-road vehicle could take root, a vehicle that allowed thousands of car enthusiasts, especially those living in rural areas with impassable roads, to become full-fledged car owners. Of course, to do this, you had to go through 7 circles of hell called shortage, and also save up 1,700 rubles. Considering that the average salary in collective farms during the 70s and 80s was about 150 rubles, that was quite a hefty sum. Why are we taking the salaries in collective farms into account specifically? Well, because, according to the designer's original idea, this model was intended for use in villages, where there was either no proper road or only partial roads. The off-road vehicle went into mass production in 1967, after undergoing some design changes, which affected the front part and altered the shape of the embossed pattern on the sides. The vehicles from the first years, due to difficulties with the supply of rear axle drive components, were produced only in the front-wheel drive version, the LuAZ-969V. Despite the fact that the vehicle was manufactured at the Lutsk automobile plant, it still, as you can notice, carried the name LuAZ-969. By its class, the vehicle was a 4-seater station wagon. It was also possible to remove the rear seat, and then the vehicle would turn into a 2-seater with the ability to carry up to 250 kilograms of cargo in the rear compartment, which was covered with a canvas tarp. As for the layout, the LuAZ had a semi-monocoque body with an integrated ladder-type frame. A distinctive feature of the 969's design is the passenger seat positioned as far forward as possible, which provides constant pressure on the front driving axle and contributes to the vehicle's high off-road capability. Like the LuAZ-965, the car was equipped with a V-shaped four-cylinder air-cooled engine from the Melitopol motor plant, the LuAZ-969, with a power output of 30 horsepower. The car was fitted with a 4-speed gearbox, the same as on the LuAZ-965's Zaporizhzhets. A distinctive feature of its operation on the LuAZ was the mirror image shifting of the gears. In addition, a low-range gear was installed. The non-jointed driveshaft, running the entire distance from the gearbox to the rear axle, was housed in a protective casing. There was also the option to lock the differential on the rear axle. Each wheel of the LuAZ-969 is equipped with additional reduction gears, which increase the SUV's ground clearance to 280 millimeters. The vehicle's suspension is independent torsion bar with telescopic shock absorbers. The braking system is of the drum type with hydraulic drive. The vehicle's weight is about 900 kilograms. It was the low weight, short wheelbase, and high ground clearance that gave the vehicle good off-road capability. In 1971, the factory resumed production of the all-wheel drive version of the vehicle, which would be named LuAZ-969. The letter V disappears from the name. Since 1975, the factory has been producing a new modification, for the first time under its own brand, the LuAZ-969A. Its main difference was the installation of a new, improved LuAZ-969A engine with 40 horsepower. Compared to the previous models, the LuAZ-969V and LuAZ-969, the LuAZ differed by having a small window and a soft top. A total of 30,500 vehicles of this modification were produced. In 1979, an updated modification, the LuAZ-969M, entered production, which is the one that bears the legendary name Volynyanka. The changes in it mainly affected the body and the interior. The front panel was changed, the windshield was modified, frames and vent windows appeared on the side windows, and locks were added to the doors, which had not been there before. The tubular frame, to which the canvas top was attached, was replaced with a reinforced frame made of larger diameter tubes to protect passengers in case the vehicle rolled over. Inside the cabin, a new dashboard was installed, seats from a Ziguli, as well as a safer steering column. The car was also equipped with seat belts. As for heating, a gasoline heater was installed in the cabin. Production of this modification continued until 1996. The success of the LuAZ-969M is evidenced by the fact that even before it went into mass production, it was ranked among the top 10 cars in Europe at the Turin Auto Show in 1978. Since 1991, the plant has been producing a new modification, the LuAZ-1302, in small batches. It was equipped with a liquid-cooled MiEM Z245-201K engine with a power output of 53 horsepower. The engine was developed for the Tavria and the LuAZ-1301. More comfortable seats from the Tavria were also installed in the cabin. But very soon, despite attempts at modernization, production of the Lutsk off-roader was discontinued. Now, with the LuAZ plant having joined the Bogdan Corporation and shifted its focus to producing buses and trolleybuses, the little frog from Volyn, the LuAZ-969, remains a part of history. Even though it had a number of drawbacks, a weak engine that overheated, poor sound insulation, and a lack of comfort in the cabin, this vehicle could still boast exceptional functionality and reliability when it came to overcoming obstacles. And even though production of the Volynyanka ended long ago, those lucky owners who head out hunting, fishing, or into the woods for berries and mushrooms can confidently say, "My little one won't let me down."